Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this little gift bag out of one piece of sort of heavyweight paper and a little matching gift card. Okay, so we're going to use this die set here. This is a hobby solution, but I didn't realise I've not necessarily seen this brand, but it's a Nellie's Choice one. So it's really lovely. You've got this die cuts a frame, so it cuts it in a sort of rectangle there, and then you've got four nesting dies in, and we've used all of them here. And then what I've done is I've echoed this through on the gift tag, so we've used the whole frame, and then I've cut these, but I've cut them in half, or just a little bit less than half, to mat and layer, so that it looks similar. Okay, so let's start by cutting the bits we want, and then I'll show you how to make the actual gift bag. So I need one of those. Let's grab my board in, not my board, my cutting mat, sorry. Now I need to find a good spot. We might have to twist and turn this. So I want this outer one in cream, and if you look, I then want not the smallest but the next to smallest in cream. And now because this cuts out here, then I can put that die, so it's not the smallest but it's the next one up, I can put that in the middle, because that is going to come out anyway. So rather than wasting card, I can put that there. Okay, so that's the cream. Then I need the second largest, and I'm going to cut it out of this paper. This is the paper. So this was a 12 by 12. You do need a 12 by 12 piece of paper. You could use card, but there's a lot of folding, and it could sort of, it could crack and not look quite as sharp. So I've used a double-sided piece of paper, and by cutting it down to 11 and a half, so it's 10 inches across by 11 and a half. So this is the strip that you get from cutting down to 10. And I'm going to use that to cut one of the mats and layers. So that's the second to largest. And this was just pure fluke. It actually fits just inside one of those stripes. So I only need one. So I'm going to just trim it off there and there and I have already, because I said I only needed half of everything for here, I have already got all that sorted, because it was left over from making the samples, so I don't need to recut that. And anyway, you'll see me cut all the dies here. Now from this one I need the last two, and they need to be separate, not one there. Just cut this down. We don't need a load. I have very much just recently, because I had a big sort out of all my my scraps, because I did have just one A4 box for my plain colour scraps, but in fact the lid wouldn't go on it anymore. It was just ridiculous. So I invested in one of those stacking systems with the A4 plastic trays, that there's like a rack that they go in, and I've got them sorted into colours, and it just made me aware of how much card is in there, but also that actually there's loads in there that are big enough to do projects with. So I don't think I used any full sheet apart from the paper. All of the card, the cream card and this blue card, was all out of my scrap box. So it's worth having a bit of a sort through sometimes of your things, because you've got more than you think. And rather than constantly cutting into a brand new sheet for a small piece, find something in your box. You know, you're more than likely to have something that matches what you're doing. Yeah, I'm just trying to be a bit more, particularly with everything being so expensive at the moment, just sort of trying to keep some sort of grip on what we're all spending. Right, I can see there, as you see, I've got a real bump in my board here that it's not caught there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it there, and we'll try that again. This is the result of a banana shaped board, not of the die. Oops. Also a banana shaped board where it's like, I'm actually there. Okay, let's pop these out while we're waiting. One. Let's see whether it's cut now. Yes, you can see now that that's cut all the way around. That's good. Tape there. I'm going to grab my magnetic because I don't want to lose. These are very nice sort of size set. I mean, they're very long rectangles. Sometimes you get quite what I call fat rectangles. They're wide ones, but these are really nice. And you know, with a lot of things these days, we're getting a lot of smaller sort of dies, and I think again, maybe it's the sort of conscious of manufacturing and costs and that, but things are just getting a little bit smaller. It's nice for all the little cards, which in turn save you on your postage. So anyway, hey ho, hey ho. So there's all the nesting ones. So okay, so I've got that one and that one and that one. I may haven't just thrown away. Oh, oh, it's fallen out. That's why it must have fallen out of the die over there. So these are our layers. That's good. Don't need that one. And then I need to clean this out of this die. Like so. It's just clean this out like so. There we go. Right. So we're going to put these just to the side for the moment, along with all the bits that I've already got ready for the little matching gift card. And then this away. I've been too tidy. I've tidied away the plastic wallet that the die's going to. Too tidy. Yeah. Right, so let's just put that back there and there. Okay, so now let's look at how we make the bag. Now, I would always recommend that you have a go on scrap, obviously 12 by 12 it's actually called scrap, but there might be like I've got some 12 by 12s that come in, you know, in pads, and there's some you're not that keen on. Try it out with one because, and then keep this. I have a box full of all sorts of templates that just remind me of what I need to do, and then more importantly of how it folds. Anyway, so let's get the scoreboard out and I'll explain how we do the scoring. So we've got this is the shorter 10-inch, and then this is the longer 11.5. No. Yes, phew, me thinking I haven't cut that right. Phew. Anyway, it would still work. It would just be a little bit smaller on the sort of the sides. That's okay. So we need the short side, the 10-inch side at the top, and we're going to score at 2 inches there. Then flip it 180 degrees, and then you're going to score it 2 inches there. Okay, now I'm going to turn it so that the long side, I've got these written down. There's nothing wrong with having all these instructions written down. So I'm going to score at 1/2 there, and I'm going to score at 4.5 there. Okay, and I'm going to turn it round and do the same. So I'm going to score at 1/2, and I'm going to score at 4.5. Now, these measurements I have done to fit this die. You can do this however you want in terms of size. The principle is the same. Once you understand how it folds, then you can play around and adjust the measurements. What I would say is you definitely want 2 inches here and 1/2 inch here, and then it will depend on the size you want as to how big your paper is, etc. Okay, so the other thing I need to do, and it's probably easier to show you on this part. So this is like this. In fact, this is where I went wrong, and this is why I always say try it out first. I did it wrong here as well. What I need to do is I need to score from my hard for me to see. I'm going to put some little marks so that you can see, because otherwise I'm kind of wafting myself around, and you're like, what are you doing? So right, so what I've done is I've marked either side of this score line. In fact, let's fold it and then you'll see which score line I mean. That one and that one. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to measure from each of those lines 2 inches. So there's 2 inches. I'm also going to put a dot on where those lines cross that line. So there and there, and the same on this side. There and there. Now, I've only marked 1 2 inch, so I need to do that on all of them. So 2 inches from there, 2 inches from there. That's why I love my board, my cutting mat with having the measurements on. So 2 inches there, and I've already done the 2 inches there, haven't I? Right. So now this is slightly tricky, particularly when, like me with here, you're working with a paper that's not particularly easy to see on. You need to score a line from there to there. Now, it is tricky, but if you can roughly, if you start going down, and you'll see whether your score tool is heading towards the right place. Okay, so I'm going to put this to a score line, and I kind of try and eyeball whether that is in line, and I start to score down, and if it's not, I'm just slightly moving it round. So I've now got these 2 scores here, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So this into this here, and then I'm kind of turning my paper. So I think this is roughly in line, and then I go down. Well, that one wasn't too bad. I didn't need to wiggle that. And same here, this one. I'm looking to see whether I've got that lined up, and then it's not quite right. There we go. Into the other one. Okay, so that's all the score lines. So what I need to do now is I need to do some folding and burnishing. We've already done a bit of folding, just so that you could see what I was doing. So let's folded that one, and we folded that one. But then we've also got this one. But now this is why you don't really want a thick heavyweight card. Folding a small amount over on a heavyweight card is, yeah, it's tricky, even when you've got a good score line. So, okay. And then what you also want to do is to fold those diagonal ones that we just done. You want to fold them in like so. So you get this kind of effect. You're folding it in. And the same on this one. Now the way it comes together then is we're going to stick those bits there and those bits there, and then fold the 1/2 inch over, and then the bag comes together like so. So before we do that though, we want to put our decoration on. Okay, and I am also going to just rub off those lines that I put on to show you what we were doing. Rub those off. So, okay, so here is my bag side, if you like, yeah. So that's where we're going to put our decoration on. So grab my tweezers, and I need a piece of paper. That's card. Piece of scrap paper. To put our glue on. So for the sake of speed, I am going to use a thicker glue if it plays ball. So for the moment, let's take that off. And I'm just going to dab it on. Just for speed, really. It's the sort of thing, really, and it should take more time over with finer glue. But, it's very, very warm today, and I kind of don't want to give this too much time to dry off before I try and stick it down. So if any bits sort of poke up, I can always put a little bit of glue underneath, as long as I'm getting the most of it. And then round like so. Not glued that to the paper, just give it a bit of a dab off. And then this is going on. Yeah, what it would do if you put it glue side down. Put it glue side up, it's going to stick to you. Oh no, I have put it glue side down. Ugh, heat is getting to me. I'm messing with my head. Right, let's down. There we go. So I can always go back later and add a little bit of glue under those little bits. But time we're going to keep moving. So here are my mats and layers. Glue has decided it doesn't want to play again. Having endless problems with glue today. Sometimes it decides it will come out, sometimes it won't. There seems to be no particular. Yeah, there you go. Rhyme or reason. So let's swap glue and hope that this one's going to be kinder to me. Okay, that's good. Right, so this is going in there, so we can see this pattern. You'll see the pattern behind it. Now, please excuse me, I've now got very gluey fingers, so we'll try not to contaminate everything, but we cannot promise. Then we've got, I just knocked one on the floor now. It's in my lap, on my apron. And then cream one. And this one. I'm not going to put the embellishment on till the very end because I don't want to get sort of knocked a bit. So that's that. So as I said before, the first thing with this is we need to put glue like that, and the same here. Okay, and in fact I'm going to do it on all four, just because as you start to fold it in one end, it naturally wants to go in the other, and then it makes it a bit more tricky to get your glue on. Okay, so literally I'm going to fold these over like so. You see what I mean? Those already wanted to just fold themselves in, and then you're going to put glue all the way along that flap and all the way along that flap, and then fold that over. Something that needs a really good press down. Make sure it stays. So, and then the same this end, give it a really good burnish down. And with thicker cardigan, that would be a bit tricky. So now this comes together, and it kind of, and if you see me just pushing that in, those just kind of go in like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my crocodile, my hole punch, and I'm going to knock everything over. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to punch a hole. Please. There, I would suggest, unlike me, that you measure it, because I'm a bit close to the top really there. But never mind, it's done. And it won't show too much once you've got the ribbon in. Okay. Don't have a hole punch, just use something sort of sharp, but be careful to poke your way through. And then I've got 2 pieces of ribbon to hold it closed. So literally I'm going to thread ribbon through. And I'm not tying a bow. You can if you want. I'm literally just tying a little knot. And in a minute I'm going to trim those so they look nicer. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my, put the lid on that, because where glue's going, it's not going to be playing ball with me. Grab these scissors, fold the ribbon in half, and you want to be cutting from the middle, the fold bit, out to the edge, like that. Nice little V. Looks decorative, but it also stops the ribbon from fraying. I'll cut that one a bit short, but that's okay. It's okay. Okay, so there's our little ribbon closures, and I've got, this is just an embellishment. I think it was an old hobby house one. I just thought it looked really rather smart. So all I'm doing, just for quickness, putting glue on the back of the centres of those, and then that's going to fit just nicely on there. That's the bag. I'll show you the gift card, because it's really quite simple. I've got, what have I got, a 5 3/4 by 4-inch card. Oh, give myself really big math to do if I haven't written this one down. Half a 5 3/4, half a 5 of 2 1/2. I'm going to have to do it. 5 3/4. Use my scribble. Half of 5 is 2 1/2. That's 6/8. Half of that is 3/8. That's 4/8. 2 7/8. Phew. Brain brain not freeze. It's not freeze. It's brain fry. How hot I am at the moment. There we go. 2 7/8. Got there. And but then I'm going to open that out because this is going to stick all the way over. And again, I'm just going to use the bigger glue. Grab that back. Oh, I'm just going to. Just going to allow that to be horizontal for a minute so it doesn't slide down like it was. Right. Okay. So let's just get some glue on. You'll have to excuse the fact that it won't all be stuck down. Again, like the other one, I would normally use my thin applicator, but everything is drying so quickly at the moment. There's so much detail on here. Along there. Right, okay, let's lift this up. Give it a little lot. And out the way. And then this is going to stick over the whole thing. So, like I said, it's not all going to stick because I haven't got glue on all of it. Then I'm going to fold that down again. Again, make sure those are stuck. And like I've then got what I've used is like this bit. Do you remember when we cut this? You had a rectangle in there. Well, that's what I've used for that. And I've just kind of trimmed all the nesting bits down to fit in the middle of there. And then the final bit of embellishment is some more of the little pearl trim. This time doesn't quite fit so well, but it still looks good. So I'm not going to hold that up for the moment because that glue is going to take a little while to decide how hot it's going to hold. So I'm going to bring in the other one. So we've got a little gift bag with a matching gift card. Now you could punch a hole through the side of the gift card, put a little bit of ribbon like this just to sort of tie it in a little bit more. But yeah, beautiful little thing to give somebody a little gift in. And we've used the Hobby Solution cutting dies. This was Nellie's choice from the Hobby Solution. This one's called Rectangle Swirl Frame. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Have a look on the channel. Loads and loads of inspiration there, and hopefully you'll find something that gives you a little bit of inspiration to get crafting. Thank you for joining me.